Well, just wanting to say hello to folks on this Tuesday Worship Express. And I'm Pastor Gary filling in for Meredith Tucker, who's so faithful at being the Tuesday Worship Express person. But I get to be the fill-in today, and we get to be the second week in a row to be around the campfire fire pit in Lawson City Park. And so we have a few folks to enjoy some caroling, and hope you'll join us in singing along as we sing some first verses is all we're doing. So I'm not passing out any songbooks to the folks here because we know the first verses. And the one that I really want to start with, it's not in the book, but we don't need it, right? Because we all know that Rudolph is the most famous reindeer of all, right? So I think we can warm up our voices with that. And, you know, a lot of our folks are bashful about being in the camera, so, you know, just if you want to, you can wander this way and bat, or you can just stay where you are. Just depends. Yeah. And we're really glad that Cora provided a really nice looking fire, and it's nice and warm too. So, yeah. So let's get off the waiting period, and let's sing Rudolph. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose like a light bulb, and on the head you would ever say it glows like a light bulb. Then the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeers loved him as he shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. And Rudolph has. Yeah. And I love Christmas carols, but I also love the stories behind them. And the story behind Rudolph is that he was the person who told us about Rudolph was hired. Well, he was part of the creative staff for Montgomery Ward. Yeah, go down in history with that. Well, it was back when Montgomery Ward was one of the main places to go shopping for Christmas stuff, and they wanted to give out the storybook about Rudolph. And so the Montgomery Ward employee put the story of Rudolph down and gave it out to people, and Montgomery Ward passed it around for all the people who went shopping for several years. And as it turned out, the writer of the book that explains all about Rudolph had similar experiences as a kid. He'd been made fun of as a kid, and he had a kid about the age that he was when he was being made fun of when he was telling us about Rudolph. And while he was writing the book too, his wife had cancer. So they were going through a really, really tough time. And after all the treatments and stuff, they were left with a whole lot of bills. And so a corporation that cares said to the person who wrote all about Rudolph, here, you can have the royalties to what you've done. And so helped to pay off the medical bills in a big way. So whatever our situation is this Christmas, whether we're having everything's hunky-dory time or there's some really rough spots on it, know that the songs of Christmas tell us we got lots to celebrate because God gets us through. So we have some other songs here, of course, and the first Noel sounds like a good one, although I have a hard time with it. But for the first verse, for surely we can get that, don't you think?
Sure.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep, on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. The next one probably, yeah. You got him, yeah. So, how about Hark the Herald? You know the angel named Harold, right? So let's sing the first verse of, and this one's ancient, back from when Charles Wesley was writing songs, and he wrote about 15,000, they say, but this is one of the main ones. Yeah. They used to say 5,000, but then they keep adding to it as they. So, hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. And last week I brought along jingle bells for Bo to jingle along the way, and it's hanging right there at the door at home. We can pretend to jingle with our candles or just along the way. So let's do jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago. And soon Miss Fanny Bride was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lang. They stole his lot. He got into a drifted bank and we got upsot. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Yeah. And there's a third verse, but we won't go there. There's probably more than that. You know, a lot of our songs have multiple verses. And a few Sundays ago we mentioned Oh, for 1,000 Tongues to Sing, another Charles Wesley one. And he wrote like 18, 19 verses or something like that. Yeah. That was back when worship services were 3 hours long. And, of course, here we are at Worship Express, where we basically say 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll see. I might get long-winded, and we may go 3 hours. And yeah. Oh no, these will last all night long. Yeah, we're good. They're my battery phone might. Yeah, that's right. It's yeah. But yeah, no, these glow sticks like candles. They go all night long. They're known as can't think, vigil candles. So they're intended to go 8 or 9 hours for like when you're having Easter night-long vigils type stuff. So, but the Jingle Bells story, of course, most folks probably know it. It's another case where the person who wrote it, he thought he kind of wasn't making it. He tried all kinds of different jobs, and I think he finally ended up being a file clerk in some back government office. And but all through it, he would be a faithful Sunday school teacher. He'd show up and be part of the Sunday school class, and everyone loved learning about God's love from him. And Christmas time was coming close by, and he thought, I don't have enough money to give my class presents. I really want to. He wrote this song. Wow. And he gave it to his class, and here we are. It's probably been over 200 years ago that he wrote it, and we're still singing the joy that he had in his heart for having been touched by God's love. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to double check on that. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah. Joy to the world. Yeah. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love. You love to sing more than one verse, huh? You know them all too. I can't imagine why.
No, only every year. 36 years.
Being a preacher's kid might have something to do with it. Yeah. I always like to say that my musical preferences are usually 2 or 3 generations older than I am, because my dad would take me to nursing home services, and he'd have song requests from the folks there. Yeah. So a lot of good songs that we've let go of, and a lot of new ones we don't know yet. So we've got lots of new songs, and people who are looking at Christmas and sorting things out and figuring out how to express the deep love God provides. Even when things are uncertain, God's love is always certain. And we have that wonderful word, Emmanuel, which means God's with us, always. Let's sing one verse of "O Come, All Ye Faithful." O come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Another verse. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exultation. O sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, all glory in the highest. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Oh, little town of Bethlehem.
This is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Got to sing carols.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful to sing carols. O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above the deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight.
That one has another tune to it, right? That
does
one
it?
in Away in a Manger? No.
Probably so. Yeah, I think you're right. Most of these do. Yeah.
I know both of them for Away in the Manger. I'm trying to
Oh,
remember
wow.
this one.
Yeah, and Away in the Manger, Martin Luther gets credit for writing it, but most people now say he just got the credit. It was anonymous. but I like the idea that Martin Luther did it, because he definitely helped us connect in different ways to the Christmas message. Now, Silent Night is another beautiful one, and we have our candles. Of course, it's so brightly lit here in this beautiful park that we don't need the candles, except that they remind us of the beauty of the glow of the candles on our faces when we're singing around, quite often in the sanctuary, to sing Silent Night. And so we're invited to join in singing this song and thinking about the different faces we've seen aglow with the candles through the years. And think about your faces glowing right here, and it's more from the fire than from the candles. So let's sing at least one verse of Silent Night. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Got to do the last verse because it mentions the glowing faces. So, silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Of course, Silent Night is another one of those songs that has a powerful story, and it's probably the best known story of all. The mice get the credit, but we're not sure about that. I like to think it was the mice that did it. You know, they got into this old church building, and as I recall, the church was called St. Nicholas Church. And they were getting ready for Christmas Eve services, and the organist went to try to play the organ a few days before Christmas Eve, and it wouldn't play. Because something was wrong with it. And the repairman, you know, that supply chain problem, the repairman couldn't get there in time. And so the organist and the priest were figuring out, what do we do for Christmas Eve without an organ? And back then, guitars were frowned upon for worship. Can you believe that? People saying only one kind of music and nothing else. But that's the way it was. And so, as the story goes, the priest wrote the words to the song, and the organist got the tune. And when the repairman for the organ came along, it was weeks later, but someone had left the music on the organ, and without permission, the organ repairman thought, this is a really neat song. And, you know, the priest and the organist thought, well, this was just something we did to get by, and we had the guitar play the music, and we got through Christmas Eve and had a wonderful expression of sharing praise to God. But that organ repairman made sure the rest of the world got to see it. And I think, wasn't it about 500 years ago or so? So this song's been around a while. Quite a while. Maybe it was 200, but I think it was older than that. I can't remember that. So.
I like the story of World War I in the trenches when the German side started singing it in German, and then the Allied side sang as well.
Yeah.
Just have a moment of
Peace.
Christmas for everyone.
Exactly. The Christmas truce, yeah. And that's a powerful story, and I got to watch one of the movies made about that at the World War I Museum a few years back.
And then they have a whole day that they...
It was several days, and there were several truces through the years in World War I especially, where quite often people would come out of the trenches, they'd decorate, they'd share the candies that they had from home, and when daytime came, they'd play some soccer. They came to connect with each other and say, you know, maybe we're at war, but we're still sisters and brothers in our love for humanity and in God's care for us. So thank you, Cora, for lifting that up. It's a powerful story that reminds us that even when we think things are pretty bad, there's that hope and that promise and that connection that we have. So hope you'll take Silent Night with you and reflect on that in the time to come. And I think we probably have one or two more songs we could sing. Anyone have a request? Here's one. Go Tell It on the Mountain. Let's make it our concluding one. And as I recall, this one actually has to do with the Underground Railroad and freedom of slavery.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. And it was different words, but the tune came from that, and eventually it developed into this wonderful Christmas song.
Does it start when I was?
Yeah. Oh, when I can't do this tune.
When I was a seeker, I saw a book.
Day and day, I asked the Lord to help me, and He showed me the way. Hey, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain, that Jesus Christ is born. Chorus again. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain, that Jesus Christ is born. I'll continue visiting as I go turn off the Facebook camera and let folks on Facebook know that Meredith will sure be back with us for Tuesday Worship Express, online only, next week, and so grateful that we were together this evening.